game, innit? Someone's always trying to blame somebody else. And I'm sure at times, yes, it is someone else's fault. We know there's people to blame for the war in Syria and so on and so on. But apparently this article says blaming the West for Islamic State is arrogant and wrong. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to put it like this. All I'm going to say is this. When you hear the people such as, what's his name, Michael Adebolajo, who killed the soldier, Lee Rigby, remember that story? And when you hear about people like who they nicknamed in the press as Jihadi John, another UK so-called export into ISIS and places like that. When you hear about what they said, obviously I ain't even going to start on what they've done because their crimes are disgusting. We know that. But when you hear what they say, they said, I don't know whether you're going to class it as an excuse, a reason, whatever. But they said the reason why they turned to be radicalized and wanting to get into extremist behavior is because they were getting pestered by the intelligence services such as MI5, MI6. They said they were getting harassed by them, which is what made them retreat further into it and what made them decide to fight back in that way. Obviously, we know that innocent people have died and suffered, so we're not even going to go on to that. But that's what they've said. So when they say blaming the West for Islamic State is arrogant and wrong, I ain't being funny, but if you believe what this person said, even though it's not an excuse for what he's done, if you believe what they've said, because I've heard it a few times now, it's not just one and two that have said it. It's quite a few of these people, and we know that they are crazy for what they've done. We know that, and we know their crime was wrong. I'll say it again. But there's too many of them keep coming forward and saying, I've been harassed by the intelligence services of whichever country, whether it's the UK, the US. They keep saying it. I've been harassed, which is what's made me want to turn to Islamic State, because I'm fighting against the government that have harassed me. They wanted them to spy for them, and they said, no, I'm not doing it. And then they just harassed them so much. This is what they've said. I got harassed so much that I decided, you know what? I'm going to rebel against you, and I'm going to fight with the very group that you don't want me to go to, that you want me to spy on for you. I'm going to actually go and join them and fight with them and do all these crazy things that they do.
Well, and I mean, that's not a reason to me. That's an excuse. That is someone that basically out of anger, out of emotion, and it may have been that their family was killed by some type of bombing and things. Yes. So it's still an excuse. It's an excuse to me for actions that they wanted to do, and it could be even be fear for that matter. So I'm not going to say they may not have been afraid also, but I think a lot of what happened was caused by the actions of the West, i.e. the United States and the UK and other people, France and Germany, getting together to go into Iraq. And they were, again, fooled by people from the United States into believing these things. And so we created a problem that, as I say, those people that need to be on the rocket ship and blasted off into eternity, they created a problem that they thought they could fix just by war. You know, like World War I and World War II. Just your country. Just think of all the destruction your country went through. We didn't have to go through that here. We didn't have missiles launched into the United States and hitting our cities. If it had happened, we may have had a different thought about some of the things we did after that. We haven't had any war on our continent, in our place, since the Civil War at all. We just haven't had it. And if we had seen, or if we would see some of the destruction that your country saw in World War II and Germany saw and Japan, saw with a bomb, we'd have a different thought process.
Oh, yeah.
We really would as a country. And it's those people that, it's like me, I have relatives that have been part of this in the military and some in the military now. I have a different thought process when it comes to war. I don't want to see my nieces and nephews killed. I have a different thought process.
Yeah, and it's always the innocents that suffer. It's always countries that sort of send their young to go and fight wherever it is around the world, and you just think to yourself, wow, do we really have, is it only war that's going to make us be able to solve the problem almost? Well, Link 27, apparently a US general is saying that ending the Syrian war is key to the migrant crisis. Well, yeah, but how do you end the Syrian war? Because those warring factions, they ain't in no mood for talking.
Well, that's a dub of it to me.
Yeah,
like, well,
we know, but come on now. How are you going to do it? Come up with a solution. Don't just say that's the key. Tell us how. Who do we get to talk to say, put down the bombs, stop doing this and stop doing that? Let's not do it like this. If you want to fight, then fight verbally.
Well, I think that was a miscalculation, from the United States point. We would have thought that, unfortunately, that the leader of Syria would have been gone by now, but they didn't realize that it was going to be a vacuum that this other horrid
they want to get rid of him. Let's be real.
Yeah, they
want to get rid of Assad, but they don't know who's going to take over, so they're frightened to do what they did to Saddam Hussein and what's the name again? What's the name?
In Gaddafi in Libya.
Yes, that's it, Gaddafi. They're frightened. They're frightened because they're thinking, okay, if we really, unseat this Assad, who are we going to get? We don't know who we're going to get, and there isn't anyone that's up and coming that we might like to see in his place. So we need to leave him there. Now, see, this is what I noticed with these governments. 1 minute they want to blow him up, next minute they want to be his friend, then they want to blow him up again, then they want to be his friend. Look at your mind.
Well, they want to control the situation, which is what it comes down to.
And I must say, okay, our Prime Minister, again, this is all, why do you notice these things always seem to be done for visual effect? He went to visit Syrian refugees in Lebanon the other day, on the 14th, a couple of days ago he went there. So this is Link 28, KOs. I remember thinking, look at it. You come in there ain't helping them, okay? You're going to do what the royals do, and they just sort of show their face, look around, walk around, up and down, back and forth, and go back and sit down in their comfy palace. He's going to go back and sit down in his comfy house. Him going and visiting people in these camps is all for show, because he has absolutely no intention of really helping them. He might, they say the words, and they massage the figures, and all of a sudden, like I said earlier, they always seem to find money when they want to do something. So 1 minute they're pleading poverty, telling you they ain't got no money, and then all of a sudden when they want to do something, we're going to put 10 billion, we're going to put 200 billion. Hello? Where did you find that from? Just to make yourself look good, as today's show topic says. Is it just to make themselves look good? Yeah, I think so.
Well, it's political, and from a political standpoint, they to make themselves look good, just like you said. For those people who have compassion in the countries they govern, they go out there and wave their flag and say, "See, I'm helping these people." When
turning up? Turning up and looking good.
Well, you can show that you're helping them by meeting with these other countries and having a plan in place and not having these visuals that are so horrible.
Well, yeah, but they turn up and they don't do anything, because he'll come back home now, and then you'll find out that, remember, see, everyone knows because they heard this, okay. Apparently, they're saying that the UK is going to take 20,000 Syrian refugees from the camps on the borders of Syria, not from these refugees that are coming in through Europe, I must stress that, from the camps that have been on the borders, and they're only going to take them 20,000 over the next 5 years. Now, okay, let me just tell you something. 5 years is our government's term in office. So each government has 5 years. So over the course, he only ever talks about the course of 5 years because it makes him look good.
Right.
20,000 ain't nothing. That's a drop in the ocean. Over the course of 5 years, he's having a laugh, isn't it?
Yeah,
Don't you think?
But that's, again, it's you're wowing people with the big number and not letting them see the overall number. Okay?
Yeah, but 20,000, when you look at this, how much thousands have come into a country in one day? 20,000 ain't nothing, is it? Because look at Germany. Well, again, I keep mentioning Germany, but so far they seem to be the ones that are doing the most. We'll see how that pans out, because we'll see.
Well, but you mentioned it before. They have a reason for why they're doing this. They're not doing this out of the goodness of their heart. They're doing it to replace young people they don't have.
True.
And so, yeah, they need this workforce because they're their country, the people in their country are getting older, and there are more older people there, and these older people aren't having children, and the younger people didn't have enough children. So, okay, well, we need a workforce here.
And even though we didn't really want it to be refugees, or we didn't really want it to be people from other countries, right now this is a perfect opportunity for us to look good.
Yes.
Say we're going to help people and replenish our citizens, our country's numbers. So we're going to do it because it looks good on us in every angle. It's going to work.
But then you get to a point to where what happens when that group of people becomes a larger segment of the population than the original population?
You see, now you just hit the nail on the head, right? Because, okay, I know that's creeping back in. And I've seen it. I heard people, they're whispering behind their hands. They're saying it. Okay, well, now, okay, who is it? What's his name? The Hungarian Prime Minister. He reckons, this is link 29, he reckons that Europe is in the grip of madness, okay? And now this particular man has said some other unsavory things over the last few weeks. Namely something along the lines of, I don't want my country to be overrun with Muslims.
With them people or those people.
Yes, that's the kind of rhetoric that they're on. So you can see the wheels turning in their little brains when they're trying to say, okay, let's look like we're doing something to help. But we also have to tell people, okay, we can't take in too many because, as he reckons, it's going to be in the group of madness. Okay, so that's number one. But then also, in the deeper recesses of their mind, they don't really want to say we welcome all and sundry, because really and truly, they don't welcome all and sundry. They don't really want people, Muslims and whoever other religion in their country. They don't want them, full stop, and they definitely don't want it to be where it could get to the point where there's more Muslims or people of other origins than their citizens in their country. Do you see what I mean? That's how they're really looking at it. Let's be real. We're going to be real here on the Ask Avani Show. You know it. Okay, let's just say it like it is. Because that's what they're thinking. That's why they're trying to limit it and sort of say, no, let's not try and take in too many now. Because it's become, a trickle is becoming a flood, is becoming a torrent. We can't really cope with that.
Well, we can't control it. I mean, go to exactly what it is. They want to control the situation. They want to feed off of it. They want to make money from it when it's advantageous for them. It's just, they want to control it. That's the bottom line.
They want to control it, but you see, you can't always control everything. And remember, humanitarian compassion should come first, isn't it, really? Well, so if you're going to do it with a good heart.
But see, no, that's the logical Avani. We can't live in a logical world.
It's not. Oh my goodness! Sometimes I have to ask myself, if I was a leader of certain countries, I'm thinking, wow.
But that's what I think the world needs: people governing who think the way that you're thinking. Now, it may take longer for your type thought process to be one that can be accepted and that can be part of leadership, because we have had thousands of years where a certain segment of a certain population has always controlled everything, whether it was from Britain, from the, years ago when they controlled half the world, and then Spain controlled half the world. They're all still in that same range of people. Africa never went and took over the world. We had the Roman Empire took over large swaths of the world. We didn't have, the Egyptian Empire going and taking over all of what is known to be as Europe and all of. I mean, we as a people didn't do that.
No.
We liked our space.
Because we're not gravelicious like that.
Right. We liked our space. We liked where we lived. We had everything we needed. We had a beautiful country, and we liked where we were. But you took those other people who thought other ways and of other color persuasions. They wanted our assets and our minerals and all that. And,
as I said, gravelicious.
And so the rest is history.
Yeah, sometimes you have to ask yourself, oh my God. Again, I'm trying to keep myself together now, people. I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't like it, and I'm just saying it as I think it is, because I don't want to see people suffering like that, because I have to sit there. Sometimes I sit there and think, oh my God, how would I feel? I mean, I have to say it. Yes, I have been through some things, but I've never had to run for my life like this, put myself on the high seas. Every step I take is dangerous. I've never had to do that. And I've been through some situations, and only who feels it knows it. So when you walk a mile in someone else's shoes, but in this instance, you don't even need to walk a mile in their shoes to see that these people are suffering. They are suffering. These children and adults are suffering. They are going through hell. All because they're just trying to be able to find somewhere to rest their head and be able to sleep at night without fear of being blown to smithereens. Let's just tell it like it is. Anybody in their right mind, you are a human being. You must be able to put yourself in that position for 5 minutes and say, okay, I do not want to be going